Good morning, everyone. Today we are looking at a condition called specific learning disabilities. So, specific learning disabilities is one of the very important condition observed in school children. So, in the past 17, 18 years of my clinical experience, I have seen many school children referred from the schools for these particular assessments of having problems in reading, having problems in writing skills, and sometimes parents themselves identify that the child has problems in these skills. It can be a reading or writing or spellings or mathematical skills where the children are brought for assessment purpose. So, I have also observed that teachers as well as the parents have inadequate knowledge about this particular condition, and hence I am presenting this particular topic. I have collected material that is relevant, both helpful for the teachers, school teachers, as well as for the parents to identify at the earliest and seek help accordingly for this particular condition. So, first we will start looking at what the World Health Organization says about this learning disability. So, that gives a kind of comprehensive understanding of what we mean by this learning disability. Learning disabilities are diagnosed when the individual achievement on individually administered standardized test in reading, mathematics, or written expression is substantially below that of their expected age, schooling, and level of intelligence. These learning problems are significantly interfere with their academic achievement or activities of daily living. So, the important features that one need to consider to understand the learning disabilities are: these disabilities are developmental in origin. They can be identified or they start at the earliest, as early as the child starts attending the school. When the alphabets are introduced at a grade level, first grade, maximum by second grade, the children starts expressing all these learning problems. So that is important feature. The second feature is the reason for this learning disabilities is a kind of um, where there is it is not because of any mental retardation or because of any other brain injury, but mainly because of the it is strongly considered to be related to the biological maturation of the central nervous system. We'll look at the causes a little later when we move on to that particular area. So the first important point is that the onset of these learning disabilities is in childhood. The second thing is it is related to the biological maturation of the central nervous system and the processing, cognitive processing, information processing at a central nervous system level, and it is steady or constant during the learning period. These are the three important features that we need to look at when we need to understand what a learning disability is. And it is also observed statistically and through many research papers that this incident of the learning disabilities is almost seen 10 to 20% of the school children at an elementary level or primary school years, that is below 11 years of age. And it is the incidence is a little more in 3 to 4 times more in boys rather than girls. So these are some of the important observations made. And then children generally have problems. The very reason why it is called specific learning disability, children have very specific problems in reading or writing or spelling or arithmetics, and very rarely children will have difficulty in all the conditions. Most of the children are either average or above average in their IQ levels. So the scholastic achievement and the intellectual functioning mostly do not run in parallel to each other. So here we also need to rule out whether the children has any other additional problems interfering in this educational or academic problems, such as attention deficit, hyperactivity, and also children having emotional disturbances sometimes also will come up with this kind of academic underachievement, but they don't fall under specific learning disability if there are other conditions involved. So looking at what are the causes, if you look at the causes of these learning disabilities, if we have to frankly tell that the exact cause is not known, whereas the possibilities that we have identified over years is mainly existence of neurological and cognitive deficits or malfunctioning somewhere in the central information processing system. So heredity predisposition is one other factor which run in the families, and usually these kids have right-left confusion, especially when they have reading difficulties. So when these neurobiological factors interacting with other non-biological factors, such as opportunity for learning is not provided, or the quality of teaching is not up to the mark, so also it might add as additional complications. Although they are related to biological maturation, the traces of these abnormalities also run into adulthood and adolescence. It is necessary that these disorders are usually, most of these are kids are can be, if carefully observed, can be identified at a very early age. School children usually having these problems can be noticed by the parents when they are making them at a very earlier age, preschool level, when they are actually doing the oral practice of these alphabets and all. So parents, when they can keenly observe, they have these difficulties of not able to attend, or problems also seen in language acquisition problems, difficulties also observed at a very earlier age. So looking at these are some of the possible causes that have been identified. Clinical features, or how do we recognize the learning disability? So the child should have a significant degree of impairment in a specific scholastic skill, be it reading or spelling or arithmetic or writing skills. And most often there is a speech or language problems at a preschool level. And like I said, like lack of attention or overactivity or emotional disturbance, or sometimes it can be a conduct disorder also. So these scholastic difficulties, they do not rapidly or readily remit with increased help at home or at school. And the impairment is specific. They are not always connected with mental retardation or less impairments in general intelligence, because the IQ and the scholastic achievement do not run exactly in parallel. So they need to be administered standardized uh, tests for these specific learning disability, and also IQ assessments need to be administered. So the impairment is developmental and present during early years of schooling, and they are not acquired later in the educational process. These are some of the important clinical features that are observed, and other external factors are need to be ruled out, like if the child is absent from school for a long period, or if the teaching is not adequate, or educational discontinues by frequent changing in the schools, can also the child might have difficulties in this academic achievement, but they don't fall under this specific learning disability. So if we have to look at a little bit closer at each of this specific learning disability, first we'll talk about the reading disability, or it's also popularly known as dyslexia. So usually this particular specific reading disorder is usually clear by the age of 7, in some of them by even before 6 years of age. Mainly, there are oral reading errors by omissions, additions, distortions of words, and reading speed is reading speed is slow with minimal comprehension. So the reading and as well as the comprehension abilities are affected here, but they can copy from a written or printed text, but nearly all are poor spellers. The spelling problems are very obviously observed. So there are associated problems with dyslexia or reading difficulties, like language difficulties and impaired sound discrimination, difficulty in properly sequencing the words. So if we are giving them a sentence like dog runs after the cat, and then tell them to start the word, they usually start speaking or telling about word in the middle or at the end of a printed or written sentence, rather than starting from the first word. So failure in memory recall, poor recall, memory issues are also observed in these kind of reading disabilities. Usually kids dislike reading and writing, and then they try to avoid them. There is a significant anxiety that is seen when they are expected to kind of um, when they are confronted with the demands of involving printed language, or due to problems in managing the printed or written language, especially particular to individual letters or sentences or even a whole page. So most dyslexic children are not, uh, if they are not receiving the remedial education, have a sense of shame and humiliation. They often kind of feel very depressed, and get into aggressive kind of situations. And then there is some possibility of getting into kind of conduct disorders also. By the end of third grade, let us say by 8 years or maximum by 9 years, if no remedial help, education, intervention is given, which we are going to discuss in detail at the end of this particular topic, these children more or less remain reading impaired. So this is in brief about what a reading disability is. There is the second condition called specific spelling disorder. Here mainly the in the absence of the reading disorder, not because of the low IQ or visual problems or inadequate schooling, the children with spelling disorder will usually have both oral and written spelling problems. So the third condition, specific arithmetic skills. Here the basic computational skills in addition, subtraction, multiplication and divisions are affected, and they're not due to again inadequate teaching or because of the defect in their visual, hearing or neurological or psychiatric problems. So looking at expressive or writing disorder, which actually requires multimodal sensory motor coordination and information processing. Here, the poor performance is in writing and spelling words, expressing thoughts considering their IQ capacity, age and their schooling, usually which is all need to be measured by standardized test. by approaching a professional clinical psychologist. They have difficulty spelling words, expressing thoughts in appropriate grammatical problem. They have problems in expressing with spoken as well as written sentences. Usually, they have large number of grammatical errors with poor paragraph organization. So during and after second grade, commonly they make simple grammatical errors in writing a short sentence. So in spite of repeatedly instructing them to start the beginning letter of the sentence with a capital, it's difficult for them to follow these simple instructions. And as they grow into higher grades, generally their spoken as well as written sentences become more conspicuously primitive, odd, inferior to what is expected according to their grade. The word choices are generally erroneous and inappropriate. Paragraphs are disorganized and they are not in proper sequence. And spelling correctly becomes increasingly more difficult. So as their vocabulary becomes more abstract, larger in number and characters. So these kids generally over a period start refusing to, or they show this reluctance to attend the school and to do the assigned written homework. General disinterest in schoolwork, and then there can be conduct and school refusal. They are usually over a period develop into frustrated and angry, and because they are aware, they become more and more aware of their problem, and then they end up being failure in academic performance. And some of the children also come with depression and a growing sense of inferiority. So these are some of the kind of different kinds of learning disabilities, and what are the different features. So now we will look at how, as a teacher or as a parent, how one can recognize these specific learning disability at the classroom level as well as at home. So these kids usually, like I said, have average or above average IQ, and they are not mentally challenged or retarded. And they have specific problem in reading, spelling, writing, or arithmetics. And as I said, 3 to 4 times these problems are more in boys compared to the girls. And they are able to learn, but they often need special, extra, additional individual help. And there is one reason for poor academics. They can be, one reason for the poor academics, and they can be extended absences or changing schools frequently, because thinking that the school is not helping them in acquiring these skills. Most of the children with learning disabilities have problems in 2 or more of these following skills, like achievement, language, attention, orientation, visual perception, auditory perception, memory, fine motor, and gross motor coordination. I have added some of the slides of the important information for the sake of a little more clarity in understanding this particular condition. Very few children with learning disability have problems in all the areas that I have mentioned above. And some characteristics and behaviors which are appropriate with the earlier stages, like say, for example, if a child of 5-year-old having problems in kind of not able to kind of identify B or D, it is considered as normal. But the same problem is seen in 10-year-old, then we will look at it as more of a disability. So what is the role of teachers in meeting these psychological and educational needs of these learning disabled students? So generally the regular school teachers are not equipped to handle these kind of kids. They need special teachers and remedial education help. But as school teachers, some important observations and some amount of help can be rendered to these kids when they have identified them to have problems. So most children with these learning disabilities have many unhappy and frustrating experiences. So teachers can provide a supporting environment for these children, and then they know that they have these children are aware that they have difficulties with the school work than compared to their other classmates, and many feel different from other children and do not know why. Often they are embarrassed and ashamed and have negative feelings about themselves and also about the school. So teachers can provide a little bit of supportive environment by following some of the tips that I am kind of explaining now. Convey to the students that they are aware of their problems, that they have difficulty in the reading, that many other students have similar problems and have been helped by teachers. So this reassurance is very important, and an atmosphere of acceptance and understanding, offering encouragement is also very important. Providing many opportunities for the successful reading experience of the students' actual reading level by presenting easier material that they can read fluently and without errors. Use praise sincerely and appropriately, avoiding criticism, acknowledging mistakes, like saying reassuring sentences like, "That's hard for you, isn't it?" Or "Many children find that hard," will help the children to be more understood and reassured. Presenting new material in small portions and segments, introducing new words in isolation and in context, provide extra opportunities for reviewing skills previously introduced, provide extended practice of new skills by incorporating them into reading situation, allowing student the opportunity to describe and discuss the reading selections. Be flexibility. Flexibility is very important in dealing with children having learning disability. And about the approach, the materials that are used and the general instructionals plan, sometimes even the best teaching plan need to be modified in order to suit these particular kids. So these are some of the important points that teacher can help in assisting the learning disabled students in their regular classrooms. And looking at the role, how parents can recognize the learning disability in their children. It will be difficult for the parents to realize that a child having this specific learning disability, especially if the development has appeared to be quite normal in their early years. The child often will have appeared to understand, have good ideas, join in storytelling as well as other children. Sometimes the children can be more smarter than other children in these activities, and hence for the parents to realize that the child has SLD will really take a longer time, because difficulty is specific and child may be intelligent and able in other ways. Others may be unaware of what is the problem or even that there is a problem at all. So all these difficulties happen unless you are carefully observing the child. If the difficulty has been missed for some time, child may have been treated as if they were backward or lazy or naughty children. Disability make lessons hard for the children to understand and follow. Hard time keeping up other classmates and seeing themselves as stupid or no good. Hard to concentrate on lessons, which become boring for the children, and they start searching for other ways of passing time and to succeed. Repeated failure also leads to a general loss of self-confidence, and it makes the child harder to cope with other children and keep friends. So the child might become the clown of the class or showing off because it is better than being stupid. Behavior problems also especially common in these children with specific learning disability, and they often become angry and frustrated. So attempt to avoid problems in school, they might start actually refusing to attend the school. School refusal also can become an additional problem. And then this needs to be given a very prompt attention and need to seek the help, professional help at the earliest. Once the child starts finding comfort being at home, then the school refusal problem itself might become a very difficult problem to resolve at a later point of time. So what are the solutions? The main solution or the main focus here should be on remedial education. So what is this remedial education and who can provide this remedial education? So it is a teamwork basically with the coordination of the class teacher, the parents, as well as the special educator and the clinical psychologist together need to kind of help the child to identify as well as to work through these problems. So hence there is a need for an individualized program for each child made by a special educator or a special teacher who is trained specifically for this particular purpose. And they develop an individualized remedial training program following detailed psychological assessment by a clinical psychologist in the intellectual area, as well as identifying the grade level disability, uh, whether the child has academic problems in reading, writing, or spelling or comprehension. So it need to be a detailed assessment by the professional psychologist, and also ruling out other emotional as well as behavior problems which need to be attended very promptly. Otherwise, they can only complicate along with this as additional problems. So one need to attend a couple of family therapy sessions in order to handle these additional problems based on the severity. So there is severity of the disability. Students need to be there should be an intensive, especially if they are identified to have a severe disability in any of these academic skills, an intensive and continuous individually tailored one-to-one therapy is more favorable treatment than a kind of a group work. These remedial classes are in addition to regular school. It's not that the child is going to attend a remedial class alone. Along with the regular school, more additional hours need to be put up by these children in order to cope up with these additional problems. So any child who is complaining of being unable to read or avoiding reading or struggling at school with academic work should be immediately need to kind of take the help with the help of the parents, as well as the school teacher should inform the parents at the earliest and see that the child is given that additional remedial help. Child has difficulty in understanding and following instructions, trouble remembering, and then failure to master reading, writing, or arithmetic skills, has difficulty in telling left from right, like confusing 25 with 52 or B with D or on with no. So all these can be easily made out by the regular class teacher and can be kind of help the child to get the help at the earliest. Generally, these children are very clumsy, poorly coordinated in using a pencil or typing or tying a shoelace or in sports. Generally, they have difficulty in understanding the idea of time. They're confused by yesterday, today, or tomorrow kind of concepts. In addition, learning problems, children with these learning problems are having this low self-confidence, and they need to be helped at the earliest in order to get the benefits of the remedial education. So this is in brief, and I want to also give this additional information. CBSE board has an exemption system. So those who are having especially problems in writing as well as reading disabilities, they usually provide a scribe at 10th standard level and 12th standard level. And there is a facility of exemption of the third language till 8th standard. And they need to produce a disability certificate of IQ as well as certificate of disability by a recognized clinical psychologist recognized by the Rehabilitation Counseling of India. So this is about the learning disabilities, and I have given certain slides at the end of this presentation which can help you in order to understand this particular condition if at all the children has, and then help them at the earliest. Thank you.